All right, artists, it's time to wrap up our Van Gogh inspired sunflower artworks. So if you haven't already, it's time to cut out your sunflowers. I know several of you have already done this step, so just hang tight for a minute before we get to our final step for this. But if you are working on cutting them out, just remember a little trick. Rotate as you cut. Cut in small pieces. It's usually pretty tricky when we try to go around and cut it all in one shot, right? So do little pieces at a time and rotate as you cut. Now, after you cut it out, if you notice you maybe have a little white spot where perhaps you couldn't get your scissors in. For instance, right here on my sunflower, you can see there's a little white spot underneath the flower beside the leaf. Guess what? Not a big deal. When we go to actually overlap our sunflowers on our vase, you might be able to just cover it up with another flower. So just one other quick reminder about cutting out your sunflowers. Again, just remember to try and cut as close as you can to the outlines that you made. So again, we are trying to eliminate as much white as possible from around our flowers. Do the best that you can, artists. I believe in you. You can do it. And once you have them all cut out, it's going to be time to grab our painted papers with our vase. Remember, we did our impasto technique, layering our paint with our fast brush strokes, just like the post-impressionist painters. And we're going to go ahead and overlap our flowers and figure out how we want our composition, right, the arrangement of our flowers to look. I encourage you to first lay them out on your paper to decide where you want them to go before you start gluing, because guess what? This first arrangement I did, not really loving it, so I'm going to do it again. Perfect. I love it. Artists, don't worry if some of your flowers go off the edge of your paper, or if some of your stems or your leaves maybe go past the edge of your vase. No worries, we'll talk about cutting those later. Okay, now here's a little trick for gluing it down. Go ahead and remove the ones that are on the front, right? The flowers that are overlapping the back flowers. And what I want you to do is you can actually hold in place your flowers in the back and just glue certain parts at a time. So for instance, I can lift up this fully bloomed flower and go ahead and add glue to the bottom of the flower, press it down. Then I can come up to the top, add some glue onto the top. See how I'm able to keep my flower exactly where I want it on my paper and just sort of lift it up or lift it down, right, to be able to add the glue onto it. So I'm going to repeat this process with the other two flowers that I also have in the back, right, my fully bloomed but a little wilted flower, as well as one of my side views, and they're going right down to the edge of my vase. So once those flowers that are in the back have been glued down, I can go ahead and bring my flowers that are towards the front, right, that are overlapping those back flowers, I can go ahead and start to glue those down. So here I've added my not yet bloomed in the front, and then on top of that I have one of my side views. Again, it's okay if it goes a little bit past the edge of your vase. I'll even show you right here how I can take my scissors and just slightly snip the bottom of it right towards the edge of that vase. And voila, looks like it has gone onto the inside. Okay, I have one more to go. You're gonna see it here with my wilting flower that my stem's really going past the edge of my vase. Again, no worries. Take your scissors, go ahead, trim it. Now, when we were drawing our flowers, we talked about how if you didn't have stems or you didn't have leaves, enough space maybe to add them, with your sunflowers, no worries. You can always take either a green sheet of paper and you can cut out some stems and some leaves to put behind your sunflowers, or you can go ahead, maybe grab a white sheet of paper and draw out some extra ones. And again, you can find some spots. Maybe you want to put some behind the ones you have in the back. Maybe you want to put a couple in the front to cover up some of those white spaces we talked about earlier. Now, remember when we drew our vases and we wrote our names underneath that curved line we made to do the top of our vase with the bottom of our vase? We're signing our names, just like Van Gogh used to do on his. So if you want to go ahead, grab a pencil or a pen, your choice, go ahead, sign your name below. Artists, once you have that done, that's it. And your beautiful Vincent Van Gogh inspired sunflowers are ready to be submitted to me. And I can't wait to see what they look like. Great work, artists.